In May, Elon Musk will be stepping down from his role in the government, and you may be wondering, what does this mean for you, especially if you're relying on Social Security? Well, this isn't just another corporate shakeup. This move could have a lasting impact on how Social Security and other vital government services function, potentially affecting millions of seniors across the country. When Musk came on board to overhaul government operations, his team claimed they saved a whopping $130 billion. On the surface, that sounds great, but as we dug deeper, we saw that some of these changes have caused chaos. For example, Social Security offices were overwhelmed, websites crashed, and people who needed help with their benefits were left in long waiting lines or with no answers at all. So, what happens now that Musk is leaving? Will things go back to normal, or will the damage already be done? With government workers being reinstated, privacy concerns rising, and ongoing uncertainty, it's hard to say. This isn't just about Musk or his reforms, it's about how these changes affect your daily life, your benefits, and your future. Stay with me as we break down exactly what this departure means for you and your loved ones. If this is something you care about, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps us keep these important conversations going. Alright, let's dive into what's really going on here. As many of you may know, Elon Musk has been a key figure in reshaping the way our government works. Yes, the same Elon Musk who runs Tesla, SpaceX, and has become a household name for his innovations in technology. This time, Musk's role wasn't in the private sector, but as the leader of a special task force in the US government. But now, he's stepping down, and it's leaving a lot of people wondering. What does this mean for Social Security, government services, and, ultimately, for you and me? To understand this, we have to look back at the bigger picture. Earlier this year, former President Trump brought Musk on board to lead a new initiative called the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. But DOGE wasn't your typical government agency. Think of it more like a startup embedded within the government, filled with engineers, business leaders, and tech experts, all with one goal in mind: to overhaul the way the government operates and, in the process, save taxpayer money. At first glance, this sounds great. After all, who wouldn't want a leaner, more efficient government? But when you dive into the specifics, it becomes clear that the approach wasn't as smooth as it was advertised. One of the first goals Musk's team set out to accomplish was cutting down $1 trillion from the federal budget. To achieve this, they took some drastic measures, canceling contracts, slashing government jobs, and even shutting down programs that had been running for years. Some of these decisions were controversial, to say the least. One of the most high-profile decisions made by Musk's team was to cancel an $830 million online survey funded by the Parks Department. The survey was criticized as a waste of money, and Musk's team shut it down without hesitation. While this might have saved the government some cash, it also set the stage for the ripple effect that would soon impact much more than just parks and recreation. Now, let's talk about Social Security. Musk's team zeroed in on the Social Security Administration, SSA, claiming that billions of dollars were being wasted due to fraud and inefficiency. Sounds serious, right? Fraud and waste are topics that always get people's attention, especially when it comes to government programs. But when you dig into the numbers, the situation is not as dire as it was made to seem. The SSA's own Inspector General found that less than 1% of payments were improper, and most of those were simple overpayments due to system delays or human error, not fraud as Musk's team had suggested. Despite these findings, DOGE pushed forward with its plans. The result? A series of changes that disrupted the very services Social Security recipients depend on. Offices were hit hard by staff cuts, and the remaining employees were left scrambling to keep up with the increased workload. This caused widespread delays in processing benefits and led to long wait times for those trying to get help. Some Social Security offices couldn't even handle the influx of calls or visitors, leaving people stuck in limbo. Even the Social Security website crashed multiple times due to technical issues, making it even harder for people to get the help they needed. But what does this mean for you, especially if you're someone who relies on Social Security? For many, Social Security is a lifeline, a vital source of income for seniors, the disabled, and others who depend on these benefits to make ends meet. When something goes wrong with Social Security, it can cause a lot of stress and anxiety. And the truth is, things got worse before they got better. Now, with Musk stepping down, you might think that things will return to normal. Some people are hoping that the departure of Musk and his team will be the end of the chaos. But that's not necessarily the case. While Musk has left, the damage has already been done, and now it's a matter of what happens next. Who will take over the government efficiency efforts, and what direction will they take? Will they try to restore everything that was cut, or will they keep pushing forward with the same reforms? We don't have all the answers yet, but it's clear that this shakeup has left a lot of uncertainty in its wake. One of the biggest concerns right now is the future of government services beyond just Social Security. During Musk's tenure, other programs like Medicare, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and even federal housing assistance were scrutinized as part of the efficiency overhaul. For some people, these services are essential, and any changes to them can have a major impact. Longer wait times, cuts to eligibility, and service disruptions could become a reality if Musk's reforms are left intact. It's also important to remember that Musk's vision wasn't all about cutting costs, it also aimed to modernize outdated systems. For example, one of his goals was to digitize retirement records that were still stored in a literal cave in Pennsylvania. While it's great that Musk wanted to modernize these systems, the speed at which the changes were implemented didn't give the systems time to catch up. In many cases, the systems just couldn't handle the new demands, and people paid the price. As a result, the government found itself in a situation where it was trying to fix problems quickly without taking the time to ensure that the changes were sustainable. This has left many people in a tough spot, especially those who depend on these services to survive. When reforms are rushed and not carefully thought out, the people who need help the most often end up suffering the most. So, what happens now? With Musk stepping down, there's hope that some of these problems might be addressed. But the truth is, things may not go back to normal right away. It's going to take time for the dust to settle and for new leadership to figure out the best way forward. The big question is whether we'll see a return to the old way of doing things, or if the government will continue on the path of reform, albeit with a few adjustments along the way. If you rely on Social Security, it's a good time to check in on your records and make sure everything is up to date. If you've experienced delays or trouble getting through to someone recently, you're definitely not alone. The changes Musk's team made have left the system in a state of disarray, but there's hope that, with time, things will improve. Still, it's important to keep an eye on how things evolve, because there's no guarantee that service will improve immediately. If you're planning for retirement, this situation serves as a wake-up call. Social Security should be a part of your retirement plan, but it shouldn't be your only source of income. Having a backup plan, whether it's personal savings, a 401k, or other retirement accounts, can give you a sense of security, no matter what changes come down the line. The same goes for those of you who rely on other government services like Medicare or veterans benefits. If Musk's reforms continue to affect these programs, it's a good idea to have additional support in place to ensure you're covered. As we've seen, reforming government programs to save money can sound great in theory, but when the people who rely on those services end up suffering, it's time to rethink the approach. Saving money is important, but not at the expense of people's lives. Behind every number, there's a person, a senior, a disabled person, a family who depends on these services to get by. If reforms are going to be successful, they need to take into account the human side of things, not just the financial side. It's also worth considering how this situation affects public trust. Trust in the government, in leadership, and in the programs we rely on is a big deal. If changes are made too quickly or without enough oversight, it can make people nervous. And that's understandable. Social Security, Medicare, and other services are lifelines for many Americans, and when those services are put at risk, it shakes people's confidence in the system. As we move forward, the big question is, how will this all play out? Will Musk's reforms stick? Will there be more lawsuits, or will we see some programs restored? The uncertainty is real, and for those who rely on these services, it's a cause for concern. But we can only wait and see what the future holds. For now, it's essential to stay informed, keep an eye on your records, and make sure you have a backup plan in place. If this conversation has helped you understand what's going on and how it might affect you, be sure to share it with your friends and family. We're all in this together, and the more we understand about the changes happening around us, the better prepared we'll be to handle whatever comes next. Thank you for sticking with me through this important conversation. Keep asking questions, stay informed, and take care of yourselves and your loved ones. The more we know, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the challenges ahead. Stay tuned, and let's continue the discussion as this situation unfolds.